Do all of the hate, all of the getting benched, the funny lineups, they got her playing small forward. It did not matter. You know why? You can't stop God's work. It was written. It was written. This is God's work. Caitlin Clark wins MVP.
8 months away from competitive basketball. 3 games on the bench to start the tournament. A coaching staff constantly changing the lineup while fans watched and wondered what was really going on. And when the 5 games were finally over and the votes were counted, Caitlin Clark still walked away with the MVP trophy. The doubters had an entire tournament to come up with a counterargument, but by the end they had nothing left to say. Think about the situation for a moment. Clark had spent 8 months away from high-level competition. That is not a normal break between seasons. 8 months is long enough.
They mad, they big mad. They are flaming right now. Caitlin Clark, in her return to basketball, like 8 months off, all these injuries, all of this stuff, the girl shows up and wins MVP just like
for players
that.
To lose rhythm, timing, and the instinctive feel that only comes from playing real games against real opponents. For most athletes, returning after that kind of absence requires a long adjustment period. Yet Clark returned and immediately changed the flow of the tournament. She ended up leading the entire competition in assists, averaging 6.4 per game. She was also the second leading scorer for Team USA, averaging 11.6 points per game. On top of that, she led the team in efficiency and finished the event with the best plus-minus on the roster. By the time the tournament ended, the numbers told a story that was impossible to ignore. What made the achievement even more remarkable was the way the tournament started. For the first 3 games, Clark wasn't even in the starting lineup. The coaching staff experimented with different rotations and combinations while she waited her turn. For many players, that situation could have created frustration or disrupted their rhythm even more.
Here, standing in front of us, and the TISO MVP of the tournament, Puerto Rico.
Instead,
from a comeback,
Clark stayed focused and delivered whenever she stepped on the floor. Whether she started the game or came off the bench, the team looked faster and more organized whenever she was running the offense. Her vision and decision-making consistently created open opportunities for teammates. The assist numbers alone explain a lot Averaging about her impact. 6.4 assists per game in an international tournament doesn't happen by accident. It comes from reading the floor faster than the defense, recognizing openings before they appear, and delivering passes that put teammates in perfect scoring positions. That kind of playmaking ability doesn't disappear during injury recovery. If anything, it becomes even more valuable when a player returns with fresh energy and focus. Clark's plus-minus statistic was another piece of evidence that stood out. Across the 5 games, Team USA outscored opponents by 104 points while she was on the court. That number highlights the difference her presence made. The team simply performed better when she was running the offense. Eventually, the coaching staff gave her a starting role, and the impact became even clearer. In the game against New Zealand, Team USA delivered one of the biggest blowouts of the tournament. The pace increased, the ball movement improved, and the offense looked smoother with Clark directing everything from the point guard position. Beyond the numbers, there was also the mental side of the comeback. Returning from a long injury layoff is as much a psychological challenge as a physical one. Players have to rebuild confidence, regain timing, and prove to themselves that they can still perform at the highest level. Clark showed that confidence almost immediately. Her deep three-point shots, creative ball handling, and long transition passes all returned during the tournament. Those plays reminded fans why she had become one of the most talked about
Caitlin
players.
Clark is officially the MVP of the FIBA Women's World Cup qualifier tournament that was just held in Puerto Rico. Team USA went undefeated. And it's kind of crazy because Caitlin Clark actually only started 1 game in this entire tournament. But clearly she had the greatest impact. The coach at times was also playing her in like the 3-4 position, which is so wild. She's a true point guard, and literally everyone does better when she is running the point. And she led the team in assists per game with 6.4 per game. And she also led the team in efficiency at a 14.6, which is something that FIBA uses, the WNBA and NBA don't. But essentially, it's a math equation that figures out your efficiency on the court and
women's basketball in the first place. There was also an interesting subplot involving the fan vote for the tournament's MVP award. Early in the process, Clark quickly gained a large lead in the public poll. Later, thousands of votes suddenly appeared for other players, leading to debates online about whether the voting system had been manipulated. In the end, the official MVP decision wasn't determined by the fan poll. It was based on the actual performances during the games. When the final announcement was made, there was little real debate about who deserved the award. Clark's overall impact throughout the tournament made the choice clear. She had the strongest combination of playmaking, scoring, efficiency, and team influence among all the players involved. Several other Team USA players also had strong performances. Paige Bueckers delivered impressive scoring moments and showed flashes of great chemistry with Clark in the backcourt. When both players were attacking the defense at the same time, the offense looked extremely difficult to stop. Rhyne Howard also had an impressive scoring stretch during the tournament. However, many of those scoring opportunities came from passes created by Clark's playmaking. When one player is consistently setting up teammates for easy baskets, it strengthens the argument that she is driving the offense. As the tournament progressed, the evidence kept building. Clark's passing created open shots. Her pace pushed defenses into uncomfortable positions, and her ability to read the game made the entire team more efficient. By the time the final game ended, Team USA had completed a perfect run through the tournament. The team finished undefeated and secured qualification for the next major international competition. When the MVP trophy was finally announced, it simply confirmed what the statistics and performances had already shown throughout the event. Clark's influence had been the most consistent and impactful across all 5 games. Her journey to that moment made the award even more meaningful. She had returned from an 8-month absence, started the tournament on the bench, and still ended up leading the competition in assists while guiding her team to victory. It also continued a pattern from earlier in her career. Clark had previously won MVP honors at an international youth tournament, showing early signs of her ability to dominate global competition. Now she had done it again at the senior level against professional players representing their countries. The next challenge will come at the upcoming World Championship event in Berlin. Team USA will enter that tournament with high expectations after completing an undefeated qualifying run. The coaching staff now has valuable data from the 5 qualifying games. They have seen how the offense performs when Clark is directing the pace. They have seen